What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? Afrojoe the Wookie playing like a PI motherfucking is. Damn, I had to redo it. But I'm gonna talk about JoJo Siwa, and she has defended Colleen her in her little in her interview with Howie Mandell. I like Howie Mandell. I grew up on Howie Mandell, and he was part of my childhood. I watched him do Bobby's World. He did a movie called Walk Like a Man. So I grew up watching Howie Mandel from back in the day when I was a kid. Now, JoJo Siwa goes on Howie Mandel's podcast and defends Colleen, and we're going to take a look at that. And here we go.
It's complicated. Speaking of friends, are you and if I'm wrong, are you friends with Colleen Ballinger still?
Yeah, I
What do you say about
I've
that?
I've known Colleen for since I was 12.
So for those that don't know, Colleen is in the middle of a kind of a.
It's tough. It's a
Colleen, what was the name of the character?
Miranda sings.
Miranda sings. My other daughter, went to all the concerts and everything, and she's getting accused of things.
Yes.
Which we don't have to talk about that she's accused of. But I would imagine if you're friends with her, you kind of met her when you were young.
I was 12 when I met her.
And
she's always been nothing but kind to me. Her family, nothing but kind to me. I think it's really. This is the first time that I've talked about this, so I just want to make sure I say my exact piece that I want to say. The internet can take a lie and run so far with it, so far that it's to the point where you just can't do anything about it. And I've had that happen to me, and I know Colleen very, very, very well, and I think the work that Colleen has done for the internet is incredible. I think her creativity is incredible. Miranda Sings is a character, is a comedian, and I think that it's very hard to be a character where people are also looking at you as you're a real human behind that character. And I think being a comedian is very hard because you were able to do things years ago that were okay. And now that we've grown and we've matured, we've realized that they're not okay. You know what I mean?
But you, as somebody who's been in the public eye for a long time,
yes.
Do you think that it is appropriate to communicate openly with everybody that reaches out to you?
No, I don't think that communicating with fans is. You got to be careful to not.
And that's what I'm saying.
To not blur a friend-fan line. It's very tough.
And here's my question to you. Regardless of judging whatever specifically is being said that was happening, and I'm just saying this as a parent again. You said you started communicating with her when you were 12.
Yes.
Is you want to be a parent?
But you guys were in the same industry.
So we were
too.
in the same.
You guys were making videos and stuff together.
So
right?
we actually met because on Dance Moms, do you know Tadra Hall?
Yes.
So on Dance Moms, Tadra Hall had a party and invited
I stopped this right there for a reason. And here's the thing about this, about JoJo Siwa, and I'm pretty much putting it out there because I mentioned through the whole Colleen ordeal, two names I brought up was Sophie Darcy and JoJo Siwa on how every time they collab with certain people, their careers or the person has gotten in trouble. Look at Sophie Darcy; she collaborated with Colleen and Logan Paul. Logan Paul got in trouble for the Forest thing and scamming people out of money. JoJo Siwa collabed with Colleen and her ex-husband Joshua David Evans, and Joshua David Evans got shot and did wrong, and Colleen is caught up in this scandal. And I've noticed that, and to see JoJo Siwa sit up on a Howie Mandell show and say, "Well, Colleen's not a bad person; she's good." To me, that sounds like somebody with Stockholm syndrome. With Stockholm syndrome, and you sit up here and you defend Colleen for her actions. And she's grown kids. You was a kid when you met her same age as Adam. So you pretty much you sit up there and said Adam and Becky were lying. Why are you calling the victims the liar? They have evidence that they got did wrong. But you sit up here and you play these games saying that Colleen is innocent, they're lying. But there's a lot of evidence on her showing that she's been grooming people. Her ex-husband just spoke out talking about what she's been doing over the years when they was dating, engaged, and married. And you sit here and you play these games defending this woman. You are an influencer yourself. You have what from 5 year olds to 13-year-olds loving you, JoJo. And you sit there and it's like, well, I don't. You got kids sitting there and you telling these kids to love Colleen. It's like you telling kids love a pedo or love a person that does SA. And I agree with Howie Mandell on what he said. He said he's done TV. He's been in Hollywood. He says he's done TV in Hollywood. And internet is different. And if you look at it, Howie's right. The difference between Hollywood and internet is totally different. When you get caught up in the scandal in Hollywood, your career's over with. You're done. There is no bouncing back from that. There is no, I'm going to get a deal, I'm going to get a movie deal, I'm going to get a TV show. There's none of that. Once you in a scandal so badly, there is no way of getting out of it. There's no way of bouncing back on certain things. Internet fame, if there's a scandal, you're bouncing back, you're bouncing back. And that's one thing people are now trying to figure out. How can you bounce back after a scandal like that? Like, look at James Charles. People questioning him. He's trying to get little boys and he's putting out a makeup line. And you look at Colleen, you're trying to defend her and get her to come back. And you look at all the people that are part of this. Tundra Hall, Corey DeSoto, you, JoJo Siwa. It makes you look bad. It was bad enough when the parents judge you for coming out as lesbian. I didn't give a damn. You're gonna be who you are. But now you're making the parents of kids that are a fan of yours question you for defending her. Now Colleen has lost a lot of sponsors. She's lost everything. Now you're defending her. It won't take long before your sponsors pull everything. You won't get. You can say, "I don't care." You will care when all that disappears. When everything you worked hard for at 20 disappears on you, and people call you a fucking monster because you want to take up for somebody that's been grooming kids. And I don't get it that you're grooming this, that you're taking up for her, and she groomed a lot of kids. And you sit here and like she did no wrong. Why? I don't know why JoJo did that. To me, that sound like a career suicide to do that. Just to, what is your angle at this? What is your angle at this to please Colleen? What? There's got to be something because you're doing something to please her or something. Because to me, it sounds like you got on Stockholm syndrome. Because all you done is all you done is sit here and defend her. And it's bad. You're young. You're dumb. You're not going to understand a lot of things. But what you just did was kill your career. You're not going to, like, if it's going to get worse for you, it will get worse. You're going to lose sponsorship. People won't hire you. Your merch is going to die off because nobody won't buy it. And your name is going to go through the mud because people are going to think JoJo Siwa is a groomer or pedo. And it's bad. You being part of the LGBTQ, which makes it even not worse, but it makes it bad where you're part of that community. You're in the public eye. And people say, okay, JoJo Siwa is part of the LGBTQ, but he defends a groomer. See how quick that can turn real quick. And just that community's looking bad because of you. You just got a whole community looking bad. And that might not be your intentions, but they will look at it like that because that's all you done. And you can't call victims liars because she's your friend. They got evidence. I can understand if it was fake, if there was people faking it, but when it comes down to doing this, and people have receipts and evidence and all this and that, they're not lying. This is true. And what you just did was suicide on your career. And it shouldn't be like that. And I hope that you wake up from this bullshit that you're going through. Like I said, you got Stockholm Syndrome for defending her. And I feel that either Todrick Hall's going to come out and say something next or Sophie Darcy. And I feel that Sophie Darcy is going to say something too. I feel that Sophie Darcy is going to be sitting up there. Colleen, she's a good person. Another 20-year-old. That's how I see it. I feel that Sophie Darcy is going to come out and say something. That's how I feel. You already got JoJo's coming out saying something. I think Sophie Darcy is going to come out and say something. And like I said, I mentioned their name several times through the whole Colleen Ballinger circus Olay over here. And I was right. JoJo came out and said something. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my other channel. Hit that bell for notification. Follow me on my social media platform. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. Peace, love, and Afro.